You know, you don't know what to say at a time like this. All your family, friends, cousins, and nieces and nephews and your career associates, you know, it's just a real pleasure. You know, these Surgeon Generals had about 50 other things to do. But they're here. They're here because they thought that this was important. And so, Chip, you know I know how hard you worked in the PHS Council. All of you worked really hard. You begged all of your friends and cousins. That's how you got the money for this chair to be endowed. And you talk about all the Dean Jackson. Eli was begging the deans and the presidents and everybody else to try to get the money and try and make sure that he had it to keep it in place, to make this chair happen. And I want you to know, you don't know how grateful we are. And I want to tell you, we're very grateful that this came about and this has happened. All of that has been a part of trying to get on the highway to success. We were following Eli's vision. And so, Eli, all I can say is, we made it. And I'm thrilled with that. A lot of the foundations, and I saw the California Foundation was here, you know, I was looking around and I was telling someone to say, well, tell Tom, you know, he said, oh, he's here. And, well, you know, I'm just saying that I just look around and they're all here. You know, they didn't just send their best wishes. They're all here. And I want you to know I'm very grateful. But you know, the way you achieve success is first you have to have a vision. Eli had a vision of what he wanted to get done. And then, of course, after you have your vision, you've got to be persistent. And the one thing everybody knows who knows Eli, he's persistent. Because I think there were times we all got tired. But somehow, we made it. And that's what counts at the very end. And you know, I'm grateful. He had a voice in his ear that just kept saying, we can make it, we can make it. He had a vision in his eye that went much farther than any of us could see. He wanted I was out there making sure every young person who left every community had a scroll in their hand that said they had a good education. And when things got tough, they had a song in their hearts. And I think that that's why we're here, and that's what this chair means to me. And I'm very honored. And I want you to know, you see, I understand. I was not a teenage mother, but I've probably been poorer than any teenage mother has ever been. You know, I was really country poor. My hometown, there was 98 people. The population was 99. 98 when I was somewhere else. And so I've been out there fighting for a very long time, but I saw many young people as I grew up who didn't make it, who were lost and become poor, uneducated, and repeated You talk about repeated slavery over and over again. And I promised, I long since promised that if I ever made it, if I could ever do anything, I would do everything I could to really make a difference in their lives, whatever it was that I could do. And the first thing I felt I had to do is I had to get them educated. That if I couldn't educate them, I couldn't keep them healthy. And so that was job one. And of course, you know, that starts early, it's persistent, and it goes on forever. And so that's what I'm about. But to me, this chair, or this endowed position, is crucial. And Eli, I'm expecting you to make sure that we continue to produce educated health professionals who are going to go out and seed this country all over. You've seeded enough, you heard me say that I've got Arkansas, Southern Arkansas, trying to raise money for a chair to begin to train bright young people, a Joycelyn Elders chair. So if I have to make every Southern medical school have a Joycelyn Elders chair, we don't care what we call it, as long as they have one and have sexuality education as a part of their medical school forever. And I told him, I said, if Arkansas gets one, you can be sure that every Southern medical school will have a chair, because they don't want Arkansas to have one, and they don't have one. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for giving us this great start and giving us a push. And I see June and Dwayne back there, you know, they are working, they have worked so hard, and Dwayne has been running around taking all these pictures and taking pictures forever. And everywhere we go. And of course, they're trying to raise a chair for the elderly. And that's the most important chair we need right now. Yeah. So I'm saying that, you know, we're about to reach the teenagers, but, you know, we're all our senior citizens are doubling. And so we are going to have to make sure that they can have a healthy, a sexual healthy life. And so we'll all be out there working. And I'd like to say, well, this is the end, Dean Jackson. We've got it. We're through. Well, you just heard Eli tell you, and I've just told you. To everybody in this room, you'll be older tomorrow than you are today. And because of that, we want to make sure we're sexually healthy until we die. And I said, coming up on the plane, I don't want another lady who's as old as me, or almost as old as me, she's coming and saying, I was coming for this chair for sexual health education. She said, she said, doctors don't know how to take a sexual history. And you know, if we're having little old ladies on a plane who can say that doctors don't know how to take a sexual history, that says we have a real deficit in our sexual health education, and we need to do something about it. So, and I say all of that to say that I think you started something, Eli. We've got to finish it. We won't finish it before I die, but and I'm going to live a long time. But I think that this program here at the University of Minnesota has been a really, really very excellent program. We've looked to it for years. You know, it's been going on for 45 years. Other schools are just getting started. So we're 45 years behind, but we can catch up. And so we're going to work on it, and we're going to be out there pushing to make a difference. And so I would like to say I'm going to go home and sit on the porch But, well, if you know me, you know I'm not going to go home and sit on the porch. The job is not done. And my son sitting here, you know, I'm always talking about what I do and what I had to do and didn't do. And I'm complaining. And he'll say, Mama, did you make it? And I'll say, well, yeah, we made it. He said, well, what are you complaining about? Yeah, so I'm saying that that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we keep pushing. We're going to reach our goal. We've got our eye on the prize. We're going to keep our eye on the prize. And we're going to make talking and doing acting on sexual health is the same as talking about immunization in children. So that's